in Pixel Gun 3D, let's talk about needed changes that has to happen to this game by the end of 2023. Now, this video is not here to encourage hate. In fact, there is no hatred at all. I think Pixel Gun 3D are doing a pretty good job with their game, but certain things need more focus. And certain things need to change. I ask you kindly to not leave any hate on this video, but also to encourage changes that needs to happen. This is a game we fully enjoy, and I really hope it's going to stick around for a very long time. That being said, do not leave any comments on this video until you've watched the whole entire video, because it's likely I will touch on a subject that you want to talk about. I would also like to say a huge thank you to the Pixel Gun community who left non-stop feedback on my previous video. We have a lot of feedback from my community, but also feedback that was left on the official Pixel Gun Discord page. One more thing I would like to mention before we get into this: we will not be discussing or talking about the weapon balance changes in this video. Pixel Gun are aware that they need to make some changes to that system. That being said, if you have any suggestions on how they could improve the weapon balance system, then leave a comment down below. First thing I would like to talk about is optimization. Now, over this year, Pixel Gun have outlined tons of optimization changes, but it's still not enough. Now, over the last 2 or 3 updates, I've started to receive more and more input lag on Pixel Gun 3D. Every other comment that you left on my previous video was the game is laggy, the game is slow, it's unplayable, and it needs to be optimized. It does. Now, one thing in Pixel Gun 3D is the game is limited to either 30 FPS or 60 FPS. Does tapping these buttons make a big difference? I have absolutely no idea. A couple of you guys have said increase the FPS to 120. Now, I have a better idea on what Pixel Gun can do here. I understand that Pixel Gun has been around for a very long time, and as games evolve, apps evolve, in order for Pixel Gun to evolve, it has to say goodbye to certain devices and older devices. That is something that Mojang have done very recently and do every single year with Minecraft. However, there is no list of recommended devices for Pixel Gun 3D. Whether you introduce a recommended device list in your game or on your Discord page, it would really help. Optimization is so important, but again, for Pixel Gun to evolve, it has to limit the devices that are the preferred devices to play this game. Like I said, I'm using a pretty high-end iPad, and I'm starting to have issues. And before anyone says, yeah, but you use it for this or that, I literally use my iPad Pro just for Pixel Gun 3D. So if you guys have any idea on how they could optimize this game, then leave a comment down below. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is Pixel Gun's file size is really big. If we tap on profile and we tap on this, we have this crafting section where we have certain buildings and certain things which you can purchase for coins or you've unlocked over time. Now, something here, for example, is this gate, which is the beautiful gate, gives a chance of higher rocket jump. Is that true? Do these benefit the players in any way, shape, or form? Now, that is something that's just been left in the game for a very long time. In fact, some of these can become really expensive to buy. If we go to bundles, like, they're costing a lot. Look at that. That's $17.99. Do these benefit the players? Why are they still left in here, but they're not necessarily promoted? Again, this is more things in the game that take up memory, that cause lag, that cause the file size to be increased. Like, even if we back out, the main menu is linked to the current battle pass. So Pixel Gun have a terrible, and I mean a terrible, habit of introducing things to their game like these and then not expanding on them. They just get left in the game and left to rot over time in hopes that Pixel Gun will revisit these. I know I said we wouldn't focus on the balance changes, but one thing that you guys outlined in my comment section is if Pixel Gun are planning to nerf and reduce weapons and balance certain things, then they need to improve the cost of modules. Now, for those of you who play Pixel Gun 3D, You and I know that this section can get very, very expensive. I'm going to waste some coins on my free-to-play account here and show you. So if I was to upgrade this and then upgrade this, like that's getting closer and closer to 1,000 spent already. You can see how pricey this can get. So if you are going to do reductions and nerfs to the module section, you need to reduce your price it costs to upgrade certain things. The biggest change that Pixel Gun needs in 2023 is a search option. Let us search for a specific weapon. There is nothing more annoying in Pixel Gun 3D than trying to find a specific weapon. Like, the amount of times I go up and down this list when you do balance changes is absolutely crazy. Let's say I wanted to search for the Hellraiser. Let me search for the Hellraiser. Better yet, please add a search option to the gallery. Pixel Gun 3D, you have a total of 1,164 weapons. Making us search through all of these is so painful. Not to mention, if you've been playing this game for a long time, we have a lot of weapons. A lot of people in my comment section have said, please reduce the price it costs to upgrade gliders and cars. Why on earth is this section like one of the most expensive sections in Pixel Gun 3D? Let's run a test here. I've got a lot of gems. This, to rank this up, is 430 gems. Why on earth is it so expensive? Watch this. If we upgrade this, it costs me 430, 650, 870, 1,000. Why? Why is that so expensive? Like, what on earth is going on, Pixel Gun? You need to reevaluate the whole entire purchasing system for transport and, of course, gliders. There was a lot of discussion about black market, and a lot of the free-to-play players were saying, inside of here, we really like what you've done with the modules by introducing them, but can you please bring back gems inside of here? Now, they don't have to be like 100 or 200 or 300 gems, but if it's just a small amount of gems, it really does help. You know, like, why is this section of Pixel Gun 3D being limited? It used to be my favorite place in my free-to-play account. This was like one of the most important sections in Pixel Gun 3D. Let's talk about the spawns in Pixel Gun 3D. Why are Pixel Gun limiting the amount of places you can spawn in this game? I am using this map, for example, because this is the #1 map where Pixel Gun needs to introduce more spawns. The map is very, very limited, and the spawns are always the same. Always spawn here, always spawn in there, always spawn here. The spawns are always on the right-hand side of this map, right? Somebody just spawned there because he's a fresh spawn. We're going to talk about fresh spawns in a little bit more detail in just a second. I just want to get killed here. Why? I'm going to show you a perfect example here. Are you not introducing more spawns? Add a spawn here. Add a spawn over here. Add a spawn over here. You need to add more spawns to your maps. And this is just one example. Let people spawn in the corners, right? Right here. Let people spawn over here. Right here. Let people spawn, I don't know, in this corridor right here. You need to add more spawns to your maps. And talking about spawns here, why are people spawn protected for so long? I think the spawn protection's for like 5 seconds. Can you please reduce it to like 2 or 3 seconds? Let's talk about your game modes. In fact, let's start off by talking about map rotation. Map rotation doesn't happen enough. You did this for 2, 3, 4 updates, and then you completely stopped. For the past 5, 6, 7 updates, it's always been the same maps. Now, granted, you did introduce Space Pirates and redesign it, but the maps are all the same. They're all the same. Now, what you need to do is slide these maps to the right-hand side and have new maps in their place. Like, nobody's playing these maps over here. Not a single person is playing these maps. You introduced Sky Islands and Four Seasons and Space Station, but you stuck them at the end of Teamfight. Put them at the start, so people know that they're there. Like, that is super annoying. Please bring back the map rotation for every single game mode that you have. At the same time, bring back the limited time brawls that you used to have. Why did you get rid of the limited time brawls? Everybody loved them. You've taken away features that we really like. There was nothing more enjoyable than seeing a limited time brawl, especially as a free-to-play player, where it says, hey, you can get a super chest, or hey, you can get a 250 key chest if you play this for a certain amount of time or get a certain amount of score. You've completely taken away a very good feature. Bring it back. Bring back limited time brawls. I would also like to talk about minigames. Now, for me, minigames is something that is highly underrated. In fact, a lot of people play the minigames. I see most people playing Block Crash or Racing. Block Crash because it's really good, and Racing typically for challenges. Please expand and improve the current game modes you have. A perfect example could be Block Crash. Give us a new map, or give us 2 layers of blocks. Simple things like that would make a very big difference. So you need to elaborate on what you already have in this game. I understand that Pixelgun needs to innovate and introduce new things, but what you already have in the game, there's so many cool things available like Battle Royale, but you don't improve on them. I mean, you haven't improved in Battle Royale in a very long time. The grading system in Pixelgun 3D needs to be completely changed and reworked. Every single weapon that you introduce to Pixelgun 3D is mythical graded. It's lost its value. Every weapon pretty much in Pixelgun 3D is mythical graded. Granted, I'm on my paid account and I've upgraded tons of weapons, but like every single weapon is mythical. Mythical means nothing in Pixelgun 3D. Get rid of the whole legendary mythical system because it doesn't work anymore. It used to work back in 2016, 17, 18, maybe even 19. But now the mythical weapons mean nothing to me. Like, you got weapons all the way down here. Let's use one I haven't upgraded, for example. We'll go with like this. I mean, that's low legendary weapon. What about this one? There you go. Epic graded. Like, you never introduce those kind of weapons anymore. You know what's talked about a lot in Pixelgun 3D is how lobbies are dead. The reason why is because I can quit and join another lobby in a matter of seconds. I can just jump in and jump out of lobbies. Until you introduce some kind of punishment for players repeatedly backing out and joining, then people are just going to keep doing it. You can see somebody else did it alongside me. I can jump in and jump out as many games as I wish, which this is probably one of the reasons why certain lobbies are dead, and probably the reason why you're having to fill up all your lobbies with bots. I have another solution here. I'm going to use the Battle Royale pre-game lobby as an example here. So whenever you join Battle Royale, you get put in a long list of players and the game doesn't start until there's a certain amount of players in the game. Now, Pixelgun told me that that wouldn't work for other game modes. That's completely fine, but let me show you the solution which would benefit everybody. Like I mentioned, every single game is pretty much filled with bots. Every single person experiences this. So what Pixelgun need to do is introduce a pre-game lobby like this. At the top, it says pre-game lobby. During the pre-game lobby, you are able to kill anyone and everyone, but it does not count to the score. Once the lobby has a sufficient amount of players, let's say 7, 8, or 9, or even 10 players, then the game will begin a countdown of 10 seconds. Within that 10 seconds, the game will begin. So let players run around in pre-game lobbies. Well, it doesn't count towards the score. It just means players can still shoot and kill each other, but when the game starts, that's when the fun begins. Nothing more annoying than waiting in a queue. And the way Battle Royale does it, that is typically a queue, right? You're waiting in a queue before you can start killing certain players. And that's not fun. Nobody wants that. But if you introduced a pre-game lobby where you're in the lobby and then the countdown begins, it just makes sense. Like, to me, that just makes sense. And until things like that happen, every single game and map is pretty much going to be filled with bots. I've talked about duels multiple times, and yet you've still made no changes. After reading all your comments, there has been some really good suggestions. So whenever you go into a game of Pixelgun 3D, it should not show the player that you are going to face. That player should be like a question mark, or should just be a full black skin. You don't know their name. You don't know the weapons they are holding. And that way, it's a mystery who you're playing. It's going to stop people joining and backing out, joining and backing out. This way, people would stick in this game and fight each other. Alongside, you've done it for tournaments, but you haven't done it for duels. Can we all agree that having people bounce around with the vertical grip device is the most soul-destroying thing ever? Can you please get rid of pulling weapons inside of duels? And that also being said, get rid of gadgets while you're there. Duels is the most competitive place in Pixel Gun 3D, and you do not look after this at all. If you're able to limit certain weapons in tournaments or specific game modes, why are you not doing it to your duels game modes? Please make some changes in here. I'd like to play a quick game of duels here just to show you guys. I want to die real quick here. I'll kill this person first, I guess. I'm going to kill him, but then I'm going to let him kill me real quick. I'm going to kill him again. I've got 2 kills on this guy, right? I can wait 15 seconds to respawn. Get rid of the respawn timer or reduce it to like 3 or 4 seconds. Because, again, people just, they get kills, they're winning. And then what happens is after they're winning, they just die and then they wait the limited time. That's all people gotta do. That's like, it's the most annoying thing ever in this game, honestly. Like, I can wait another 15 seconds now. In those 15 seconds, my gadgets are gonna restore and I can use them again. It's so frustrating. And another thing is I'm able to kill myself. And if I kill myself, I don't lose as much health or as much points as if somebody killed me. You need to fix it. You need to fine-tune the duels game mode. Same is also said about Team Strike. With Team Strike, get rid of the pulling towards target weapons. It's literally ruining these 2 game modes. You got rid of the pulling towards target weapons in flag capture, but you didn't get rid of it in any other game modes. It's just a constant battle with the pulling towards target people. And it's just not fun. Players have also requested a better login system so players can then take their account and use it on Android or take their account from Android and use it on iOS. Why is this not a standard thing? In the lottery, you're constantly offering free keys, which are great. I can only open a 50 key chest or a 250 key chest. For the 10 key, I have to watch an advert. This is a big no-no for me. I don't mind watching an advert every now and then, but I find myself having to watch constant ads. Give us 2 options. Let us spend 10 keys on this or watch an advert on this. Please stop pushing the ads on important things in this game. Players are happy to use the lucky board and things like that. But when you start pushing it here, for me, that's a big no-no. Something else you used to do in the older clan system, you had a slider where we could open multiple chests at once. Can you please introduce that slider to the lottery? Thank you. And I'll be honest with you, Pixel Gun 3D, the Pixel Pass really hasn't evolved in all the years that you've done it. You need to evolve not only your challenges by introducing even more and newer challenges, and I know I keep talking about that, but you've got to change things. Just everything feels the same. Every single season, you're doing the same things for these elite weapons. It's not fun. It's so repetitive. You tell me, Pixel Gun, when there was a change from January until now this year. There really hasn't been much change other than you tweaking things by giving us XP boosters. I just think the game is quite repetitive in terms of what you offer. There needs to be something that lets players go, wow, that's actually a really cool thing. A suggestion is offering weapon camos to players. Maybe you have to get 10,000 kills in a certain season, and you can be given like a gold skin the way you can in Call of Duty. Just a suggestion for people who want to grind. You have a lot of level 65 players, although I would love to see the level cap go up. I don't think you're going to do that. Introduce more grindy things for players, like unlocking certain skins by getting kills, not having to buy them every single time. Last thing I want to say is if you made it this far in today's video, enjoyed the promo code. I appreciate you for listening to what I think Pixel Gun needs heading into 2023. Any more feedback, leave it in the comment section. I'll be reading your comments. I might even do a part 2. See you next time.